What is up, you guys? Happy New Year. It is 2025. It is JDM Garage Hero, and we are back with another banger. So today we are at a new location. So I am still working at the old garage, the one that you guys used to see, but I have now acquired a rental garage. Just going to be trying to buy and move these cars. So with that, I have a few awesome new little additions that, as you can see in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what's been going on with all the cars we had at the house, and then also what we have acquired. So there's been a few updates. Stay tuned till the end because we got some really cool stuff.
Okay, so I got rid of 4 cars here, and the first one was the 2004 RSX Type S. This was the part out car that had no title and was burnt in the back. So I actually salvaged all the parts out of this, the suspension, the body, the engine, the transmission. Overall, I was able to double my money on this. And even after the front suspension, the wheels were off, we got creative and were able to push it up my driveway to get a metal scrapper to come through and pick it up. I was a little bit worried that no one was going to be able to pick it up because it didn't have a title. But lo and behold, the metal scrappers came through and they did come get it. And I still got a little bit of money for the shell, so it all worked out in the end.
Bye-bye to the RSX shell. Metal scrappers have picked up and they are on their way. Now I get my parking space back, which I'm also happy about. Thank God for that.
Next up was the 1990 Mazda Miata, the one I did the short nose crank repair in. This sold to a kid in the dead of winter, a kid that always wanted an NA Miata, and he finally got one, so I was really happy about this one. Third car is the Del Sol. Now I was going to fix this one up, but it ended up being a lot more trouble once I got into it than it was worth. So I decided to part ways with it, let it go to someone else that has time for the project. And I ended up keeping the glass roof for it, which was a really good find. I'm sure I'll get another Del Sol in the future. So we let this one go and go to a good home. Last but not least, it was the RSX Type S with a Type R K20A motor from Japan. So this car I did pretty well on, and the shell went to a good home, which someone's still going to use it, and we doubled our money on this one too. You can see here that overall we made a couple grand on that black RSX. The Del Sol we took a little bit of a hit in, but I was able to keep the rare Targa top. That's basically why I bought the car to begin with. The white Miata, we almost doubled our money, and it went to a really good home. The red RSX with a Type R motor, again, that was a good part out. A lot of good parts were salvaged and helped out other people. And then in total, we made about $11,000 selling all these cars. This brings me to the exciting part. So I was able to acquire a already LS swap Mazda Miata. As you can see here, this is an 05 Mazda Speed Miata. And I've always loved this body style. I love this color. I love the Mazda Speeds. To remove the original 1.8 liter turbocharged engine and to put in an LS swap was something I've always wanted. If anyone's familiar with Tom's Turbo Garage, he did a build just like this on a Mazda Speed Miata, same color with the LS3 engine, and it really motivated me to get on the whole LS Miata train. So I haven't driven this car yet. In fact, the most driving that you see is just me trying to get into the driveway or into the garage here. And I'm really excited. We're gonna have a lot more footage to come on this one, but this is a car I've always wanted, and selling those 4 cars gave me the funds and the ability to do so. And I'd like to note that I'm still definitely going to do the LS swap and the NA Miata, the green one that you see on the lift in the background. It's definitely still going to happen. I already have all the parts for it. It's just, this is now going to motivate me to get that project, going and finished, just because we'll know how fun and exciting an LS swap Miata is, and to get it into the NA chassis, which I love the pop-up headlights and I really want to see that happen, is just going to push this project along even further. Okay, with all this car flipping and buying, it gave me the idea that if I was able to take $11,000 and able to make over $20,000 out of it, there's got to be a way for me to continue doing this. So I did something controversial. I took out a small, what I would like to call a business loan, and I decided to purchase some more cars. So I figured as long as I buy good cars, rust-free from the South and collector type cars, I should be able to flip them for a profit by bringing them up to Michigan and selling them to the motor gearheads up here. So I found my next flipper, which is this 2004 Mazda Speed Miata. I wanted a red one because I already have a silver one, kind of a his and hers vibe. And this one was for a really, really good deal. Now, I don't want to tell the price just yet, but I can definitely tell you it is a really smoking deal. It's bone stock, lady-driven car, and you just don't find them like this without being all ratted up or rusted out in Michigan, so I was really lucky.
There she is, boys and girls. There she is. Now, this is the reason why you take risks and gambles. I know not everyone likes to roll the dice, but there is a reason why they say with great risk comes great reward. Because, funny story, the guy I bought this car from, I never spoke to him on the phone. I don't usually take 1,700 mile round trips and drive countless hours to get vehicles unless I speak to the driver. I have the warm and fuzzies about the car. I get walk around videos, yada yada. This guy wouldn't answer any messages. He wouldn't answer, you know, my request to talk on the phone. He wouldn't give me the time of day really, but the price was too good for what we negotiated. So I just figured I got to take a gamble. I got to come down and see it for myself in person. Lo and behold, it is definitely a $12,000 car. And I paid, well, I'm not going to say how much I paid, but I paid a lot less than that. So it is super cool that I was able to get this. I am stoked. It is a true Mazda speed, runs and drives great. I had an absolute blast on the test drive. So freaking stoked, man. Again, with great risk comes great reward.
The next car I acquired was a Mazda Miata. Surprise, surprise. Now, I wasn't going to buy any more Mazda Miatas, but they are such a great entry-level sports car, especially for people that just want to get into the hobby themselves for the first time. And it's a great car to get for the spring, summertime. Everyone loves a Miata. They say it's always the answer, and there's a reason why. This one only has 64,000 original miles. It is a two-owner car with the factory hardtop, and it is in immaculate condition, zero rust anywhere. So I couldn't help it. I had to pull the trigger. It was another smoking deal, so I drove down with the U-Haul trailer. I picked it up from the gentleman, brought her home. Okay, so you'd think I'd be done with Mazda Miatas, but I just can't help myself. This blue one, I've always wanted a Mariner blue. It was in Alabama. It was a nice car, good price, and it was actually at a dealership. But I know that the price they were asking for it, and I negotiated them down, I should be able to get a little bit of a profit from it by bringing it up north to Michigan. So that's what I did. Had it shipped up from a car transport, which is quite frustrating if I'm going to be honest. I would have done it another way had I known it was going to be as difficult as it was. But all in all, I'm happy with the purchase. It's a good car, and it'll be a good flipper. At this point, you probably think I should be done buying two-seater roadsters, but I can't get enough of them. In fact, this Honda Beat is a right-hand drive K car from Japan that I've always wanted, but you just don't see them very often. And they're usually at a price point that just doesn't make sense for a car that isn't really highway drivable. But I found this one in South Carolina from an owner that had it for 4 years. I negotiated them down to a really good price, and I pulled the trigger. Couldn't help myself. In fact, buying these cars during the holiday season and in the dead of winter where the market's very minimal and not a lot of people are trying to spend money is a good time to get them for a good price. And this is a car that I should be able to bring up north and enjoy, get my fulfillment out of it, and then still move on and make some money off of it. So that's what I did. I had this one shipped up as well. Again, it was a very frustrating process. I had a few shippers come through, look at the car, say it was just too small for them to fit on their trailer, or didn't have enough breakover angle, or the track width wasn't wide enough to go onto their trailer, what have you. It took weeks to get this car up from South Carolina, but once it did, it was very rewarding. Take a look at this. I love the comparison of this big truck compared to the car. It is just really puts into perspective how tiny this vehicle is. It's like the size of a golf cart. I was very excited about it. What I love most about this Beat is the looks. I mean, it already has a lot of aftermarket parts, the wheels, the side skirts, the front bumper, the rear cargo rack, the dual exhaust. It has the roll bar, the twin loop in the back seats. I mean, it just came looking really cool, cooler than stock. So I couldn't help myself. I had to pull the trigger, and it's gonna be like a mini Miata. And what can I do? Like, it's too cool for school. I had to have it. In fact, I actually didn't get to take delivery of it. My wife actually took delivery of all these cars for me because I was out of town. But it worked out in the end, and all of these little sports cars have arrived back to the JDM garage for their final resting spot until they move on to a better place. I really got to say thank you to my wife here because she is the one that makes all of this possible. She's the one that shuffles all the cars, takes delivery of them, sends me videos, lets me see them while I'm traveling and doing my day job. She does this without getting any damage on the cars, and she is very supportive. So, you know, with a partner in crime like that, this is how you make dreams happen.
Okay, and there you have it. So now we have this blue Miata, which is gonna be a flip car. This one is the one that got shipped up from Alabama. And then this red one is from Ohio. It's 60,000 mile car. And it is just needing a little bit of light recon. In fact, the only issue with the red one right here is the spoiler fell off at some point and now there's some paint chipping. So I am gonna recon, just do a little spray job here, maybe fill in and sand it down, but it's gonna make it look nice and then it'll be a good seller. I did acquire this Mazda Speed. It's an all original 110,000 mile car and it's bone stock, lady driven, and I was gonna flip this car because I got it for such a smoking deal. But I'm not going to now because on the test drive, I really fell in love with it. I don't know what it is about Mazda Miatas, and I don't know what it is about turbocharged ones, but it was way too fun to sell, so I'm not getting rid of that one yet. And then last but not least, this is seriously my most favorite addition to the fleet. Now, I know there's a GTR right there, there's the WS6 over there, the LS Swap Miata that I still haven't driven yet. You know, out of all of those, I am the most excited about driving this thing. This is a 1991 Honda Beat. This is a car I've always wanted to get. And this one is kind of modded out. In fact, that's kind of what drew me to it because it looks so much cooler than stock already. I'm pretty sure this is an authentic Mugen front bumper, dude. So if it is, and you know, it's got these wheels that are J-Speed wheels, it says on it. I don't know exactly what J-Speed or how big of a deal that is, but J is the first letter to my first name, so I had to go with that. It's just such a sick car. Now, there is a little bit of bolster wear on the interior. You know, that is kind of par for the course on these cars, especially with a heavier set person inside. But you know what? Look at the steering wheel, look at the shift knob, look at, you know, the zebra print seats. It is just so freaking cool. So I'm really excited about this car. It does have the HKS dual exhaust on it too. It's low miles, only 32,000 miles, and these things are pretty reliable. They're a Honda at the end of the day. An old school Honda is just gonna run forever. So easy to work on. My first K car, because I've never had one of those. Very excited about that. And I'm just so stoked about how this is coming along. I got a lot of big goals for 2025. I am gonna be starting my own business in some sense. So I already went ahead and started the LLC. I'm still working through the ins and outs of that, but ultimately that is where I wanna be able to move these cars legally. I know in Michigan there's like a limit, in your state there probably is too. And you know, somehow I've been flying under the radar so far, but I wanna make it real and you know, go by the book, if you will. So that's the plan now. I am gonna make you know, kind of a decision on how I'm gonna set this garage up ultimately. I don't want all of the flip cars here because it's harder to sell. So I think I'm gonna leave the keepers here. Basically right now the back row is keepers. The WS6, the GTR, the Mazda Speed Miata, and the Beat are all gonna be keepers. Probably gonna bring my CRX, throw it over there in the corner, and then put an LS Swap Miata right here. So my keeper's there, and then bring the red and blue Miatas back to the home garage because like I said, they need to be detailed, have a little bit of light recon before I put them up for sale. So stay tuned. Like I said, a lot of cool stuff going on. We'll keep you posted on the progress, and thanks for tuning in.